Welcome to Drinks Coach UK. Vinesack or lowercase, Drinks Coach UK lowercase. You're watching YouTube on the Drinks Coach UK. Hit subscribe, whack the bell if you want notifications for further shows. We're on a bit of a roll here. We kind of stumbled over the 100 episode mark because we were trying to get the right things in for it and plumbing issues in the flat and blur, but now we're on a roll. We're getting going. And you can go outside and sit on a bench next to someone legally now, which is so cool. So what do you want to do? Do you want to go out there with like arms full of gin and sit there and go, right, we're going to get twatted now? Or do you want to be more discreet about it? Because we're living in the era of canned wine. Yes, we are, ladies and gentlemen. I'm always showing you ready to drink products when I think they're really good. And I had so many sent to me. And also, my dear, clever friend, Victoria Moore from the Daily Telegraph, has recently done a piece on a similar subject. And she was saying, oh, you must get these wines from Kiss the Wine from Germany. And you must... So she's been giving me a lot of steers. So thank you very, very much, Victoria, for your wisdom. I gave wisdom right back. I found a real cracker as well. So just to give you some sort of idea of what it's going to cost you and the wines which we think you should look out for. Because these just sit discreetly in a handbag or in your back pocket and you can go out with or without a glass in some cases. I think some of the wines just don't need glasses, frankly. But some of them do taste better with a wine glass. So just a little plastic glass, couple of cans, fully recyclable, straight in the aluminium recycling. The world is a better place for you doing that. And also, there may even be some of you, maybe even going to music festivals later in the year. What could be a better medium for drinking at festivals than cans of wine? I love the medium. If anyone can come up with some really clever ideas of what we do with the cans afterwards, they can make them into like a weed pipe or something, I know, then I'm all ears. It'd be interesting to know what you come up with. Maybe a tiny little helicopter for escaping from prison. Who knows? Anyway, so... where do we start? I've got information. I've actually done some research here. Big shout out to me, my friends. There. Can you see that? The Copper Crew. I already mentioned a bunch of guys, and I've been quite outspoken about how thrilled I was that somebody, it was a South African wine source, but these guys at the Copper Crew have brought out a rosé, a red and a white, which you just pull the can and you drink it. And it just felt like it was designed to be done like that. No messing around. Honest to goodness wine. Didn't give me a headache. Had loads of fresh flavours. What can I say? So Copper Crew, you're still in my heart, boys and girls. And this is kind of just a follow-on. So let's say that you were the first. Okay, and now we'll have a look at some other fantastic products out there. I'm not going to say whether they're better or worse than yours, Copper Crew, but some of these wines are pretty spectacularly good in my opinion. Okay, so where should we start? We've got a couple of whites here. There were some rosés, which I shall pass over momentarily. Then we've got this wonderful little brand here. Then we've got 3 reds. That's enough for most people, isn't it? So without further ado, let's crack on. The Canned Wine Company. Okay, guys. I just want to show this to you because my wife tells me, I mean, she's all visual and arty and stuff. And she likes a glass of wine, but these wines are quite expensive. But look at the labels. I mean, this is textured. It doesn't slide out of your hand very easily. It's a beautiful, gorgeous can. And they brought out, they sent me 3 different drinks. They sent me a Grenache Rosé, I think it was, a Spanish Garnacha Red, and a little can of 2019 Grüner, presumably Grüner Veltliner, one of my favourite grape varieties. Have a look at previous shows. It's Austrian. Okay, so I opened this for my wife. We thought, oh, this is really good. Let's have a taste. I thought, in a can, it's a grape variety which I imagine is super zesty, goes with food. Oh, very aromatic. Now, okay, it smells like really, really good Grüner, I have to say. It's got some melon smells, it's got a lime peel, it's got white pepper. It doesn't taste like one of the really hardcore kind of Steiermark minerally ones, or a Krems or a Cantal kind of style. It tastes like it comes from the big area, kind of northeast of Wien, in the Niederösterreich. You can get really good Niederösterreich Gruner Felton, you know, from the Wine Society, fair enough, but even not from the Wine Society, for around £12. The Wine Society, £9 buys you a very, very nice bottle of wine. Now, 3 of these are going to set you back about £17, £18. That's £6 a can. If you look at it in terms of buying a wine in a restaurant or in a wine bar, you wouldn't get a 250ml, that's a giant, like a half pint glass, big glass of Gruner of this quality at £6. So fine, yes. It's like cocktails, some cocktails in cans cost up over £5. So I think that we have to bear that in mind. Also, the can is so beautiful. Emma said that she'd pay the extra £2 just because it looks smart, and she'd feel like it was an accessorise. So yeah, fair enough. But this is easily the most expensive range of cans that we've shown you today. But they're good. They're good. They're really good. So this is, you know, good quality, vibrant. It's a year on now. We're on the 2020 vintage, so I was presuming the cans will come out soon. But maybe a little bit on the off-dry side. Very, very juicy, very sherbety, very attractive. Great with Thai food. Get a Thai curry into your little, you know, if you're staying over in a travel inn or something, or get your Chinese. If you could go into the local wine shop and get a couple of cans like that, then you're drinking the right wine with the right food. Disposable. I just love the whole format. It's just fantastic. While we're here, actually, I'm going to jump forward to this, because when I saw this can, this really surprised me. Wines of Spain, again, Canned Wine Company, 2016 Old Vine Garnacha. So the wine in here is 4 years old, nearly 5 years old. That's certainly the oldest liquid I've had out of a can. So I was thinking, well, if it's no good, if it's just okay Old Vine Garnacha from somewhere like Calatayud, somewhere in the sort of like, you know, around the Pyrenees, which I imagine it is, it probably tastes a bit skinny and a bit overwrought by now. But 2016 was a winner chicken dinner vintage in Spain for red wines, and made some of the best red wines of all time. Imagine my surprise. I'm going to say Old Vine in Spain. We're talking 80 to 100 years old, I imagine. Ah, it smells fantastic. Okay, again, £5-6 a bottle of a can equivalent. But with development and freshness and maturity. With a burger, like a really good top of the line patty and bun, dip and flip, Five Guys type burger. This wine would actually make that into a dinner. Goes just as well with steak or anything else, with a really nice shish kebab. I can't think of a red wine in a can thus far that made me romance about food quite as much. Present company accepted, which we're going to come on to. So well done, Canned Wine Company. A bit on the pricey side, but I totally understand. And they can send you a kind of like test kit of the 3, like that, of the rosé, the red and the white in a box like that. Fantastic. What can I say? Beautiful packaging, very nicely done. I mean, very nicely done. Okay, moving on. One of the most popular drinks on the planet now, obviously, is New Zealand Savion Blanc. As you can tell, this is a smaller can. It's 187, which is exactly 1/4 of a bottle. And these are 250ml, which is 1/3 of a bottle. So that's quite cool because it brings down the cost price. And this is a decent glass. This is a kind of I'm an alcoholic, but I don't want to tell anyone sized glass. 250ml, nearly half a pint, only 3 of those in a bottle. Where there's 4 of these, that's big enough, thank you very much, in a decent glass. I love the name of the wine. Vin du Can, which literally in French means wine from a can. This is decent wine. You can buy it in packs of 24, I think it's right, or packs of 12. Maybe packs of 12 on Amazon, I believe. So look it up. Vin du Can New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. It works out $2.50 a can. $2.50 for a solid sized glass of what I think is pretty decent New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. Not something I drink much of these days. I mean, you kind of get bored after a while. But when it comes around to summer, there's nothing more refreshing than a glass of this by the pool, I've got to say. It'd be brilliant as a spritzer as well. Oh, lovely. It's beautiful thiols of passion fruit and guava. I take it all back. I forgot. This is actually absolutely bloody delicious. So well done, Vin du Can. You can do Van. Three more people to talk about. Okay. My lovely dear friend Victoria, who I talk about quite often, was telling me about, you must get the wines from Kiss of Wine. I can't remember her name, was it Marika? There was a German lady in Berlin who very kindly replied to my messages. And they have done a range of wines. They do like a test pack of 6 different flavours. What have we got here? We've got wild, it's Dolcetto. Smooth, it's a Chardonnay. Oh, it's crisp. It's a Sauvignon Blanc. It's zesty. It's a Riesling. You get my drift. So she's basically preempted the style of wine. So you don't have to worry about, is that the wine for me? Because it says what the style of the wine is. And in the smaller letters, for those people that are slightly more initiated, it tells you what it is. Furthermore, they come out these little flashcards, which are lovely, which actually tell you where the wines are from. So the Sauvignon Blanc and the Chardonnay are from a producer in New Zealand. There's a picture of the guy looking all honest. It almost feels like crowd farming in a weird sort of way. And Victoria told me that they were very, very high quality and not over the top, not gushy, but precise and pristine and done with real class, as I'd expect from a German lady. Thank you very much. Why do you think my name is Hans-Joachim Wadsack, for God's sake? Okay. Let's try it zesty. It's a Riesling. I assume it's from Germany. Okay. Oh dear, let me drop that. Very pale in colour. Do we have a vintage on here? Probably not. Probably don't need it. But I'm guessing it's a very young wine. Just what you expect. Some slate stone, like almost a granite sort of smell. Hint of that petrol that you get sometimes from Riesling. So refreshing. And fine herbs like Halbtrocken. Not dry, but very nearly dry. If it is dry, it's so beautifully balanced. 11.5%. I'm guessing there's 3 or 4 grams of sugar in there, but not much. It is dry. As dry as a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc would be. But this is the one I'm really looking forward to trying. There is a producer they use in one of my favourite wine regions in the world, which is Piemonte, outside the lovely city of Turin. And he makes Dolcetto, which is a beautiful, inky, summery wine. Some people just don't even think Dolcetto is a wine. Shame on you. There's like Italian Beaujolais, this is. It's good kit. When you go to someone like Vira or somebody who really knows how to make Dolcetto, it's flipping delicious. So bugger off. I love Dolcetto, and it's lovely with a ham sandwich with English mustard on it or something. And then the king of varieties in Italy, it's a Nebbiolo. Nebbiolo is where you find the very famous wines of Barolo, and slightly less often, Barbaresco. And I know Nebbiolo is one of the hardest grape varieties to get right. If you're going to buy expensive Barbaresco or Barolo, if you're going to buy ordinary Barbaresco or Barolo from a decent single producer, you're starting at 25 quid. Anything less than that is a felony. And by the way, you shouldn't be drinking it. It's all crap. But if you get a good producer and it's a Langhe Nebbiolo, which is from the base, or a Nebbiolo d'Alba, or one of the appellations in Italy that allows the wine to be released after its first year, not have to be held back like it is for Barolo for 3 years or Barbaresco for 2. Sometimes you can find some bargains. But this is just a can that quite happily says, feisty, it's a Nebbiolo. It's the right colour. Nebbiolo grapes are very large and pale skinned, so you don't expect lots of colour. A lot of people say, oh, but Barolo, it's really dark. It's not. It's only because you're trying to serenade someone in a restaurant at night with a candle. But that's the right colour. It's kind of got a tawny edge to it. Lovely colour, in fact. My goodness. That's real Nebbiolo. It reminds me of wines from a bit further north where they're made using a carbonic maceration method, is where they allow the grapes to be fermented in the wine. It tastes like Spanner from Gattinara or somewhere. Very nice. Let's skip to the good bit. Kiss of Wine sell these cans in portions of 16 or 24. If you buy 16 cans, that is £62. If you buy 24 cans, it's £87, which comes in at around the £3.75 mark per can. Perfectly good, brilliant wines for that price, frankly. Yes, I'd pay that all day long. So it works out at like a tenner a bottle. 3 times £3.75 is nearly exactly a tenner. So these wines are not overpriced. But also, if you want to know which wines you like, you can just go online to Kiss of Wine, or Kiss the Wine, whatever it's called. Hang on, I just want to show you I get this right. Kiss of Wine. And you can buy a box of 6. Which is all of them, so you can try them and decide which one you like, and then you can buy cans, put them in the cupboard, and next time you go for a walk, or next time you want to sneak a glass of wine out in the court in Wimbledon, you know where to go. And it's £29 for a box of 6, which works out at £4.80 per sample, which is still a little cheaper than the canned wine company, remember, but at the moment, it's a tenner off. £19 buys you one of each of these cans, which works out at £3.20. That's £9.60 a bottle for premium wine from France and Provence for the rosé and Italy for the reds. Well done, you guys. This is a really, really lovely little brand. They've got you on style. These cans look beautiful, but really well thought out, which leaves us with 2 more to go. It's 15 minutes in. Let's not hang about too long, but this comes in at a fantastic price. I've seen this in various independents, and it's called Pablo Y Walter. I think they're actually people that own vineyards in Argentina, in Mendoza, and this is a beautifully conceived can by some of the most innovative and well-priced brand creators in the whole of Europe, really, and that is the company of Boutonneau Wines, just south of Manchester. They come up with some really clever ideas, and this is Pablo Evalter Malbec. There's probably a story behind it between 2 guys, one called Pablo, one called Walter. I didn't bother reading it, to be honest, because I know they're creating a brand out of it. But all that matters is it good? Well, it's unoaked. That's the first good thing they did, right? There's lots of good things that come to create a brand this tasty, but it's only about £3.70 a can. Again, really, really good value for money. Unoaked, because you don't need wood. Wood's expensive, and wood makes the wine even more treacly than it has to be. It's not over-extracted. It's not 15% alcohol. Quite curious to know how many it is, though. 14.5, so it's still a full-bodied wine, but not jammy. Gorgeous nose of raisins falling out of a Dundee cake, like compotted, Christmassy, stewed fruits. Perfect steak red. And it tastes sweet. Dear Victoria said to me, it tasted sweet, so I asked them, is there any sugar in here? Because it's so sweet, the fruit. I said, yeah, like 1.2 grams. This is all fruit, man. Absolutely stunning. The most joyful looking and most no-brainer, easy to sell, man for all seasons can of red wine that's on the market right now. So, Pablo Evalter, well done to Boutonneau Wines. Look them up. I think you can probably buy them on Amazon as well. But it comes in at some really simple price. And it's, if you like Malbec, for whatever reason it is, it'll be because it tastes like this. It's all velvet and blueberry fruit. Yeah, £42 for a 12-pack, I think it was on Amazon. Very, very impressed. Which leads us on to almost the whole point of this exercise. Apart from Copper Crew, it was this can at the front. Yeah, sorry. Because I went, oh my God, drink, 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 drink. You know what that means? It means it's crushable wine. It's crushable, which means I could drink it fast. I was very happy, and it's in the bin. This is a range of wines called the Curator, brought in by a brilliant company called Swig, made by a man that is internationally famous for what he's done with wine, a name called Ardy Badenhorst. Ardy Badenhorst has a family winery and a company which is based in Swartland, which is the very modern, trendy part of the winemaking scene in South Africa. But the winemaking is far from modern and trendy. It's about grassroots. It's about looking after your vines. It's about finding the right vineyards and the right vines planted in the right soil and listening to what they have to say to you. And Ardy has turned into truly one of the great winemakers of the world, certainly in the New World. Cut his teeth making wine all over Australasia. I think he worked at this huge sort of wine factory called Delegates in New Zealand. Went on to make wine with Brent Maris at the most extraordinary winery when it first opened, Wither Hills, making the best Savion Blanc and Pinot Noir in New Zealand for some time. Half the price of Cloudy Bay, and kicked its arse regularly. And then he came over and became a winemaker at a very young age, senior winemaker at Rustenburg, which is one of the great wine farms near Cape Town in South Africa. He's moved on. Now he has this winery in Swartland and loves his records. There's vinyl everywhere. Love that. So we have a white where he's used old vines, but he also, in a warm climate like it is in Swartland, think of it as about the same size and the same climate as Portugal. Smoking hot in the middle of summer, but you're actually quite close to the sea as well, so there's some lovely maritime influence too. This one's made from Chenin Blanc, half, Chardonnay 22%, there's some Viognier, Semillon, and a little smidge of some tangy Colombar as well. Now, it's typical, if you're going to make really, really good wines in a region like this, to blend. The Southern Rhone white blends are obviously wines that he likes very much. Otherwise he wouldn't be making wine like this. But these wines have massive texture, but refreshment and ripeness, and just everything that you want a wine to be. It's a complete meal of a wine. And this range is his entry-level range, the Curator. He makes a couple of ranges, one called Secateurs and Curator, and this is available in bottles, and you can buy it in restaurants, you can buy it from Swig in bottles, and in fact when I asked for another can of this for the show, they sent me a bottle because they hadn't got any cans yet. But this is the Curator 2020 red wine. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon Shiraz Cinsault Grenache blend. It's just delicious, and it's £4 a can. You can go to Butler's Wines in Brighton. I know they're selling them, and they're selling them online around the world, around the country. Henry Butler, props to you, man. One of the great wine merchants this country's ever had. What can I say? It's just fantastic. It's a wine that when you drink it straight out of the can, it's gratifying and it's warm and sensuous and it has almost a sandalwood spice to it. But underneath there's this wonderful inky, tangy, dry fruit to it. Reminds me of wine, and also from that region, made by the wonderful Molyneux winery called Clough Street, named after the most colourful street in Cape Town. I'm wittering, so let's go back and recap. Canned Wine Company, really good kit. I mean, a 2016 red in a can, respect. Pay peanuts, get monkeys, around £6 a can. Van der Van, if you just want a shot, literally if you want like a kind of a hit of wine on the way to work because you're an alcoholic, this looks like the right size for you. Really good New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. I mean, I'm not joking. Sort of Villa Maria good, okay? Serious. Believe. And then we've got this lovely range of wines, which started off as a pet project of a girl and her friends who wanted to come out with a range of like single serve drinks, which were much more convenient, which were much more ecologically sustainable, but they weren't really thinking about doing it in a can. It's just that when they said, what's the best way to do this? They said, I put it in a can. And so the can was incidental to their dream of producing a range of really no-nonsense, uncomplicated wines that explain themselves. And they're very good, the lot of them. And at a brilliant price, under £4 a can. Pablo Y Walter, Malbec in a can. You never need to use a corkscrew again. If you actually have that, and using the Sauvignon Blanc in my right hand, and a Argentinian Malbec in my left hand, total cost £6.50. The bottle and cork industry is fucked, basically. So here we are, finishing off with the Curator, Adi Badenhorst. Thank you, Martin, from your amazing wine bar and restaurant down in Southend-on-Sea. Martin Day introduced me to these on a live Zoom chat with Adi Badenhorst less than a month ago, and I was so smitten with them, I had to tell you. But the pink's great, the white's absolutely delicious, but boy, the red. All the wine you could want in a little box. See you next time.